Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to my journal, my trading learning journal. So I've decided to start this page to journal my progression from nothing to something. I've never traded in my life. I come across trading in February this year, and ever since then I've learned a couple of things. And what I want to do from now on, because I thought to myself, look, I'm learning all these things. There's a lot of information online. There's lots of successful people, lots of people that are not successful. And the best way for me to prove that is to do it. Now, if this does become a successful thing, there's again no actual journal of how we got there, how I make it happen. And I think it'd be amazing to journal this and just see what it gets, see what it's going to get. Now the whole logic is, what I'm doing is I'm not obviously teaching anybody how to trade. I'm teaching myself, and I'm recording the process. Now if you think you can give me a lesson, let me know in the comments, as in if you can add to what I know, leave it in the comments. If not, feel free to just watch and see what I do. Now since February, I've learned, how to read market structures, hopefully, how to mark areas of interest, and how to look for the entry signal. But I have also observed the market has been really chaotic. Now, even the big players, the boys that's been trading forever, I see them kind of struggling to read the market. For the beginner like myself, trying to actually understand the market when it's so chaotic is really, really hard. So when you do replay trades, you kind of doing it in a time that things were a bit different. Economy was better, trades were going better, they were trending more than just ranging. And yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But look, I'm dedicated. I want to make it happen. I want to prove to myself that it can be done. I don't really want to prove anything to the internet. I'm not doing this for money, as in I'm doing the trading for potential money, but I'm not doing the YouTube channel for money. I literally just want to journal my journey and see what it's getting. Enough talking. It's almost 9 o'clock. It is actually 9 o'clock, and I am based in New Zealand. Just finished work a little bit earlier. I had to do some office work as well, and now it's finally time to sit down and just look at the markets. It is Monday evening. The market has already opened. We had quite a bit of a move. But what I like to do on Sundays, which I missed it because I was really, really busy in the weekend as well. And this is going to be part of your journey. If you do decide to do trading, you're going to have to find the time to trade. I'm finding it pretty complicated. I have a young family as well, so I need to spend time with everybody. And then I want to focus on this. So since February, I've spent a lot of time doing it. But what I'm going to try and do is Sundays, I'm going to try and record this and look at all the trades to see what's potentially lined up for us to take a trade. If it's a good trade, we'll take it with real money. If it's a trade that has not give us a signal, we will be just entering in a demo account, and we will be breaking it after the fact to see whether we lost or not lost, but whether we were right in what we saw or not. Now it is what it is. Those videos that I'm going to put out, they will be not edited. All mistakes, everything I do, they'll just go there. And the reason for that is I want you to understand that I am struggling with all the terms. I'm learning everything. And if you decide to do trading just like I have, everything on the internet is kind of very well edited. People give you just the sweet spots when they put the trades. When they don't put the trades, you don't know exactly what happened in between. But what I'm actually doing is I'm doing the whole process. So when you look at this is raw. It's not edited. It's how I look at it, is how I'm going to trade, and all of these other things that comes with it. So I don't know everything what we're going to come across, but I'm sure we're going to come across a lot of things that's going to teach me a lot of lessons, and that's why I'm doing it. And I'm also recording it for the future when I'm going to have those days with more success compared to now. We can at least look back and say, hey, look, it took a year to 2 years, 3 years, whatever. For now, my goal is to try and learn more about trading, so I'm more comfortable when it comes to putting a trade. When you look at the markets all the time, you will actually understand that you can get a feel of what the market is going to do and what is trending and when it's ranging and when it's doing what it's doing. It becomes a bit more clear, and I have kind of started seeing that. But it is definitely it's a hard one. It's a hard one to get the finger on the pulse. So you have to pay a lot of attention. You have to be pretty humble, and yes, the emotions is what really dragged me so far. Anyway, I've placed quite a few trades. I had a $500 account. I blew it all and I made it all back. So now we hopefully gonna keep it there. My last trade I lost 47 bucks. So anyway, enough talking. If you have questions, ask me. I'll answer my best I can. I'm not posting every day. I'm posting every now and then. When I mean every now and then, I mean if there is an update to be done, I'm gonna post an update. If there's no update, there's gonna be no video. If I place trades, I'll make sure that I'm recording them so I can share them with you. What I mean by sharing with you is share with you the journey, right? Not that I would recommend you take my trades. Not yet anyway. First I need to get my edge on my strategy, and then when I'm good enough, hopefully everybody can look at these videos and understand what I've been doing, because I'm gonna do the same thing over and over and over again. Obviously minor tweaks, I'm gonna stick to the same strategy. I'm not gonna change that. So I'm just gonna keep doing that with minor tweaks. What I've seen so far is the trades that I mark as potential trades, they did not give me the entry signal, but they have gone the way I said it's gonna go. But that tells me that I need to refine the entry signal. So let's just make it happen. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm going through my list. I have this list which is called running list. This is all my pairs. Now I put these together with ChatGPT, of course. I got the top 3, which is the greens, the next best, which is orange, and then the kind of not last, but the last best, the reds here, and the more volatile ones that you don't really want to go for is actually purple, excuse me. And then I have got the red list, which has got lots of other pairs. So the plan is we're going to go through my running pairs. We'll talk more about running later, but we'll go through these and we'll see if we can find anything that will kind of line up to what I know about trading to place a trade, and we'll move them into the watch list, and then further we'll go through and mark the ones that have a possible entry signal coming up. So just quickly going through them, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I have already marked the areas of interest. They are pretty much the same since last week. I had issues with my recording the screen and all of the stuff, and unfortunately I missed quite a few episodes, I would say. Just didn't work properly. Hopefully now it works and I'm not wasting another hour of my time doing nothing. Doing nothing for YouTube. So yeah, all of the areas of interest are marked. They're exactly the same. We're gonna go through and just double check, just to make sure that we still have got them. But other than that, I'm pretty happy to go with how they are. So what I normally do, what I've learned to do, is just get rid of these candles so we can actually see the market. So we're just gonna hide them. I'm using no gaps candles because it kind of makes things a little bit easy to see when you haven't got the gaps. Now lots of people just trade normal candles. I like to use them like that so I can see it better. Areas of interest, as far as I have learned, is minimum 3 touches. Minimum 3 touches will give us a valid area of interest. Now the area of interest of where the market has had reactions from. I'm just gonna delete these. We don't need them anymore. They're just from all trades that I've tried to place. Now looking at this weekly area of interest, is this just weekly? Weekly, yeah. So let's just go quickly back to weekly, and we can see that is definitely not weekly unless I drag it a little bit more to the left. Now when I mark the weekly area of interest, I do this quite often. I go back maybe a year and a half, couple of years. This is just December 25, so it's not that far ago. So that's good. That's a valid area of interest. Now the one here, weekly and daily, this is actually where the price is at right now, and we have got 1, 2, 3, 3, potential 4. Now let's just quickly check the width, because I know it cannot be too wide. Ideally 27, no bigger than 60, so this is valid area of interest. Then we have got weekly and daily again here, 1, 2, maybe not so much weekly, but daily, surely we have got a daily area of interest down here as well. So 1, what are we, 2, 3. Okay, so we do have 3 touches. However, I'm not really pleased with it. It's just a little bit far, so I think we're gonna just see if we can make it happen differently. So if we drag this up now, right there, how are we looking? So we have 1 touch, 2 touch, and 3 touch here. Okay, and this is as smaller than the other one, which is excellent. So this would be our valid area of interest. And now the first pair I didn't actually say, this is Euro USD. So areas of interest are now good to go. I can clearly see that this is the last active leg, and right now the market is staying within that. It hasn't created a new high or a high low. So I would say we are still in a bullish leg, which tells me the market can pretty much do anything it wants to do, of course, but it would kind of be more prone to go bullish, right? That's at least what I'm kind of seeing. So let's just get rid of these, put the candles back on so we can see them. Now this is daily. Daily is basically sitting right in the center, and what I mean by the center, you can see the leg. Oh, I can't actually point with my finger, so you can see the leg here. This is the last active leg. We haven't broken above that or below that, above the high or below the high low, which means we're currently staying in this state of bullish, but we are just ranging, so going sideways basically. And when it's like this, I basically do absolutely nothing. I only take a trade if we are at the bottom of daily, if we have hit this bottom area of interest, or the top one. And when we are in a ranging market, I like to always look for entry signals at the top for sales and at the bottom for buys, which is basically premium for a sell, which means you're selling when it's most expensive, and discounts buy when you're basically buying when the price is really low. That's just what I've learned and what I'm understanding. And when the market is ranging, so when the market stays between these 3 areas of interest, you would kind of ignore your trend a little bit. And what I mean by that is, yes, if you are full bullish and you're at the top, so far with the economy the way it is and everything that's happening in the world, it has most times followed the the premium for sales and the discount for buys. So even though you are bullish, you're right at the top, unless you have unless I have received a clear break and retest from above, I wouldn't put a continuation trade on. I would just wait for the signal for the breaking or the rejection from that weekly area of interest with an engulfing in order to enter. So we'll leave Euro USD away. We're not going to do anything with it. It's not sitting well. And just have a look at 4 hourly as well. You can see 4 hourly is kind of consolidating. It's creating this massive area of pressure, which market is slightly moving up, slightly moving down, which it will blow eventually. It will blow eventually. And if I am to look at weekly and have a wild guess, because it's going to be on camera, what we're doing here. So weekly is also ginormous consolidation. If you have a look at it, if you look back, look at that, all of that area here, it's all consolidation. So that my gut feeling tells me that this is going to go down, but when, I do not know. Now I'm looking for head and shoulders and other patterns which I'm not familiar with. I can't really notice any fancy patterns here. Maybe a head and shoulders possibly, but it's not really, it's untidy for me. I wouldn't be able to know anything about it. I'll just leave it alone. We'll just move on to GBP USD, and this is going to be a lot quicker because you now know how I'm doing with my areas of interest. You understand why they are where they are. Equally, this also is consolidating on weekly. And maybe we do have a head and shoulders here. Maybe we do have a head and shoulders, but anyway, let's quickly have a look at these candles. No gaps, so area of interest. We have one, two, three touches. This is a very valid weekly area of interest, even smaller and closer. Then 1, 2, 3. Again, this is valid. It is a little bit old, but it is very valid. The market has reacted from that, so I like to keep it here because it's gonna, if the price kind of ends to it and I'm putting a trade, I know that would potentially have a reaction from there. Now it hasn't had a reaction for the last, what's that, November 2025. So 6 months, what are we now? September. So almost 8 months, I think it is, that we haven't had a reaction from it. So maybe not, but well, something to keep an eye on anyway. Then this other area of interest, one touch. So this is not a weekly area of interest. 1, 2, 3. This is also valid weekly, and then 1, 2, 3. Another valid area of interest. Okay, so let's just go to daily quickly and confirm those areas of interest are at least daily. So we have 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch. Yeah, there's plenty of touches there. So that's a daily area of interest for sure. And so is this one here that we had the reaction from in September last year. It's reacting from it as we speak. So you can see recent reaction from there. What's happening with this one here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely this is very valid. However, it's not weekly, it's just daily. Daily area of interest. And this other one, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is very valid as well. We're just gonna make it a little bit wider. Oh, that wide. Let me quickly check. 43 pips. This is a little bit fat, but it's still valid. The price is quite far from it, so I'm not that worried. Now let's put the candles back on, get rid of this, and let's see where we at. So right now, you can see again we are so close to the middle of the leg, the last bearish leg. Now this leg here, if you see, is one continuous leg. So this is the market structure, how I read it. The way I look at it is the last active leg, the previous higher high and higher low, or low low and lower high, that hasn't had a broken structure above or below. That would be the active leg. So currently this active leg is obviously bearish, but if you're looking at the bigger picture on, let me just go to weekly because it's easier to see. If we're looking at this, we can clearly see that we are creating high highs and high lows. Then it did actually drop down here again, but it went back up and again higher. I would say overall, no, definitely not bullish. It is definitely bearish. You can actually clearly see the overall trend. But when you're trading at, 4 hourly, you don't really need to follow that as much. But you're just looking at your last leg. Now this, for example, weekly is bullish because that last leg was bullish because of this. You can't see my finger. Because of this little leg here, the way I look at it, this blue candle has actually broken that cycle. So you have had, let's look at it from here. We had, where are we? Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'll use this. So we had, this was our previous lower high low and high high right there. And then the market broke above again. So we created a new high high and a new high low. And then you can see we actually broke below this. Let me just make this level because they're annoying me. I don't know if they're annoying you too. So that would be the original high high, and this would be the original high low, but the market has now broken below. So we have actually created, we have now created, we have created a bearish move. And now this is the low low, and this has become the high high right here. Yes, that is a doji. I tend to not ignore it, but it is a small break in the road, so I would probably just leave it here. But then further we can see we have created a new low, and this would become the new low high, sorry. See, mistakes, easy to make. Eventually you'll get there. And I'm also really tired. I had a long day, it's been raining, but this shit is gonna happen. This shit is gonna happen in your life. If you want to make trading happen, you're gonna have to pull yourself together and just make it happen. Like, forget about everything, all distractions, and just do it. Focus on it, and yeah, just give it a go. Right now you can see, just going back to this, you can see that we're broken again above it, and we have created a new high and a new high low, which is what I have marked here: weekly high and high low. Now the way I actually did mark this, I've created an indicator. That's just you know, quite a lot of work to make happen, but it is done now, and is pretty accurate, and it's showing me everything I need to know, and I can see daily as well. Daily is obviously bearish. Let me get rid of these because I don't need them. Okay. You can see daily is actually bearish currently, and if you want to see all three, we just drop to 4 hourly, and you will be able to see all of them. What I mean by all of them, you will be able to see where weekly currently sits at, and where daily sits at, and then where 4 hourly is at. And we can clearly see that weekly and daily and 4 hourly, obviously, they all sitting pretty much in the center. When we are in the center, honestly, it just does not work. You cannot place a trade from the center. I mean, I cannot place a trade. You might be able to place a trade, of course. Looks like we're creating a bit of a trend, uptrend, but what I have learned, it all kind of makes a lot of sense the more you do it. I would look at this and say, hey, we're consolidating, but equally I'm seeing so many fake outs when it's in the middle zone, as in, yeah, it's gonna go up, oh shit, I just lost my money, it's gonna go bearish, place a trade, oh, I lost my money. So I decided that I will not be trading from the center. I'm only gonna look for trades that are lining up with daily bottom, daily top, or weekly top, weekly bottom, and then drop to 4 hour and look for what we need. So from that point of view, GBP USD is out as well, and I did it this way just to get you to understand what I'm coming from. So when you're looking at these videos, even though it's self-educational for myself to keep getting better, at least you're understanding what I have done as well, and maybe try and learn also. But you do not learn from someone that's learning, right? We need to learn from the experts. Eventually I will be a lot better. Every day that we're doing trading would be a day that's gonna make us better. All right, so GBP USD is out now. USD JPY, straight away here we can actually see that we're sitting at the top of weekly. Also we are at the top of daily, which is, to me, absolute beautiful. What I would do now, I would just quickly go to weekly. I like to check the area of interest close to the price action. So right now the price is at the top there, so let's just get rid of the candles so we can mark these areas of interest. So we have 1, 2, 3 touches, so this is a valid area of interest, and the price has just reached it. We can also see a head and shoulders here. This is a weekly head and shoulder. Now, what I know about head and shoulders, they signify like a change. What is it called? Whatever it's called. I don't remember. I'm just too tired. A reversal. That's the word. A reversal. So right now we can clearly see that we have had this uptrend, a bullish trend, and we're creating new highs, high lows, high highs, high lows for this whole time. And now we have created this kind of squiggly, ugly looking head and shoulders, and we are now coming back up to test the neckline. And what this tells me, hey, we are preparing for a sell. The price is obviously at premium, so the price is high. Now I understand that the money, smart money, is moving 9 out of 10 from an expensive position to be to place a sell. Sorry guys, I'm losing it there a bit. So yeah, so smart money will always follow this. When it's premium, they're going to sell, and when it's discount, they're going to buy. Did I get that right? Yeah. discount, buy at discount, sell at premium, correct. So that's exactly where we are right now. That's how I see it. So I'm gonna quickly go to daily, put these candles back on so we can see what they're doing. Before that, actually, just let me see this area of interest. This is 100% daily and weekly area of interest, and again the red one here, red and gray, this is a very well respected area of interest. So the price has just rejected from there and coming back down. Now if I was to place a trade, I would not go further than that, as in obviously I don't place a stop loss, but I would expect it to go there. Then reason being, you know, marking this area, I know this trade has a potential of 1 to 5, 1 to 3, 1 to 2, and the higher the potential, the better it is for me to be able to, you know, put a 1-to-1 trade and kind of have a higher probability of return. Let me just copy this quickly because I can see another area of interest right here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 valid touches. So this is daily, at least, maybe weekly as well. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, see, I would have missed that. If I actually lift this up a little bit, it will be absolutely insane. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches as such. Okay, let's go back to daily. Candles on. All right, cool. So right now, what I would be waiting for, I would be waiting for a break and retest of this area. Basically, I would expect a double top to form, and we can kind of see that happening, but it's pretty ugly. I would have liked it to go a little bit a bit higher, but this has been cooking. This has been cooking since last week, and you can see how I actually marked it. I did expect it to go a lot higher. This is from last week, so it's kind of in the same place. It hasn't really done anything. But now they're having this area of interest here, which I missed. You know, it's kind of eye-opening because it is possible that it's going to do something else. So I'm just going to wait patiently. I can probably delete this now. I know what we're waiting for. Yeah, so just looking at this area right now, I can see this 4 hourly, all of these very, very little candles, little candles. A lot of indecision in the market. Now you can see the week before that week as well, you can see this consolidating. Now it's kind of pushing through that area of interest. It's not going higher. If I actually look at daily, you know, we haven't managed to get above that daily high to create a new high and a new high low. So it's kind of really good resistance from that point of view, and we have kind of touched down. We're breaking below and coming and retesting, but it's so little. It's almost like a fake out. But what I would expect to see in order to enter, it would be something that would look like this. Say we're coming down below, we're finally going wild at it. We're having a reaction of probably the daily high low, and we're gonna come back up to retest this area of interest and then go down. Now this would be for me pretty sure trade if I do this, but 9 out of 10, I'll probably not 9, I would say maybe 3 out of 10 I will see this happening, and 7 times out of 10 it wouldn't happen. So there's 2 things I can do here: just risk it and place a trade when I get the next engulfing. So if you look up here, you can see that this has had an engulfing bearish candlestick to signify that, hey, we're going down, but it was not, clearly it wasn't the real deal. It was like a fake out. Now I would love for this to come back down here and then kind of consolidate a little bit further, but give me something that looks a little bit more like, let's see, probably something that looks more like this, or something that looks like this with a decent push. What else? Oh, something that looks like this, exactly like this. So you can actually see what's happening here too. We came back up, we consolidated, we just stayed here for a couple of, like maybe a day and a half, and then he came down, consolidated, came back up, and then he had this engulfing signal, and then he went down. So to me, this would have been a good trade. I would have definitely taken that trade. But you can see how, you know, it break below, come back up, reject and retest and then going down. So that's what I would like to see as well. And if I actually zoom out a little bit just to compare, so we are back at the same area, and you can see how it's been ranging in between these two areas of interest. That's what I was saying to you about ranging. It's, if I trade, I would always trade from the top and from the bottom, never in between. See, is a lot of consolidation happening in between, and that just sucks. And we are now just at the top. So the minute we get that engulfing, I would definitely take a trade. So let's just put this in watch list and possible entries. Add these possible entries and watch list. So we have at least one trade. And just quickly, one more thing, what I do, USD JPY, I go to Athena. You may have heard of it. USD JPY, excuse me, USD JPY. So currently, weekly is sitting at 70%, an actual buy signal, because if you're going to weekly and you're having a look at weekly, it definitely looks like it's going to go up. But I do think this is going to reject this area of interest and come down before it will actually push a little bit higher. So our trade will be where the arrow is, but let's see what daily is saying. So daily is also on Athena at 70% a buy. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but look, Athena is not bulletproof. Athena can get it wrong. If Athena is right, what we would expect to see, which most trades will be either one or the other, right? So if Athena is right, we're going to see this come up, break, and then retest, and then have another push. This can 100% happen, but like I said, I've watched this happen for way too long at the moment with the current world state, and I can definitely tell that it is not quite trending. It's mostly ranging, and it has big drops and then it has big pushes, but within the same kind of area of interest. Now if you're looking at this just for the sake of it, March, so where was it? Okay, from January this year, January 5th, from January we touched this weekly lower low area of interest, and we went to the top of it and then came back down and broke below that, came back down to touch that area and then broke below, and then it just came back up and stayed up since March, April and May. 3 months stay pretty much in the same range, and then it had a big drop. So it will do that, and I don't think I can. There's nothing that tells me, hey, this is your signal. Enter to take these big long trades. Would be absolutely amazing to figure them out. I mean, I can see the engulfing there, but I'm engulfing with rejection of EMA. If this second candle wasn't formed, I would think that it's just going to reject and continue on a bullish trend, but obviously it didn't. But anyhow, we'll keep an eye on it and see what's happening. Next on our list, Euro JPY. I'm usually going for 3 to 5 pairs that I can potentially enter, and I'll just put them on my watch list and I'll have a look from there, and then I'm just going to keep watching the area of interest and see if we're getting our signal. Now this one here, we can see we are just kind of in the middle of weekly, but we are at the top of daily. Top of daily is actually pretty good. Weekly kind of, it just tells me overall what the market is doing, but daily is what helps me understand when I'm putting when I look for a trade. All right. So let's have a quick look at weekly. What is weekly doing here? Oh my God, look at this. This is 100%. I mean, overall, we can see we're trending bullish, right? Now, weekly is massively consolidating, and it hasn't been at the EMA in a very, very long time, since May 2025. Now, what I have obviously observed, that the market likes to spin around the EMA, above it and below it and on it. Now we have been above it for such a long time. It had such a big push up that it is possible to see, it's possible to see a small drop, you know, bring us back down into the balance point. And the EMA is usually where the balance is, and you can see I kind of marked these trend lines here, which I've no idea shapes and things like that. It just looked like it to me, and that's what I've marked them. It seems to kind of follow those lines pretty accurately. I would definitely look at this and think that we will be seeing a new higher high here. I would expect that we will probably hit this again. Let me just get an arrow. Oops, this one here. I would say we're gonna come back up here and then come back down here, and eventually just go for, I don't know, go for gold, have another drop, and then there potentially, or can really do anything. It can probably come down here too next, you know, and reject the EMA and then go back up. I can't really see any patterns happening here in this consolidation to tell me, but it's clear that the market has kind of taken a break since January. You can see it's just kind of ranging, I could say, almost, but ranging on a bullish trend. So it's not really ranging. If it's trending, it's creating new high highs and high lows. But let me delete this because I don't need it. Also this, we'll leave these other two lines, and we'll just have a look at daily quickly. Now, when I can see these little candles, it just tells me that there's one of two things: either market not interested at all, and it's very small number of traders, or a very big number of traders, and there's a lot of fight in between them, as in a lot of sales and a lot of buys put at the same time. And then there's a slight difference in between the number of trades placed against each other, and we obviously pushing it on a bullish move, right? So I don't know. I do not like it in particular. I'll probably just stay away from this, to be honest. It's just too much happening and too volatile, I would say, to do anything. We'll just leave it alone. We'll look for better trades. We'll just move on to GBP AUD quickly. Now GBP AUD, I have marked this last week as well. We are trending bearish, and you can actually see down here. I hope you can see that screen. Where am I? Oh, the screen here. We have been in a bearish trend for, you know, quite a few months, 5 months now. But it seems that it's slowing down. It seems that has leveled off, and it's gonna stay there. So I'm looking at this quickly, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, where are we at? Weekly. Areas of interest are still solid. 1, 2, 3 touches. That's a very small area of interest at a lower time frame. Another weekly here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. So that's absolutely genuine. Now the price is almost at the bottom. Let me go to daily quickly. So what I can see here is that we've broken below this area of interest, which means it wasn't quite respected, even though that was a weekly area of interest. So we've broken below that, and it didn't hold, and it came back up. And now it's kind of reacting of this daily area of interest. So what I look at, I can see that it's hit this area of interest where the market has previously reacted from. It's rejecting, so it has come down below that and then retesting. Now what this would normally tell me that we had, you know, a breaking and a retest for a continuation, bearish continuation, of course. But it's so untidy, and this EMA is so far as well, which is good that we are below the EMA, because ideally you would want to place a sell below the EMA, not above. But sometimes you'll see the price is really high above the EMA, and you would put a sell, because it really makes sense that the market is going to want to go down, especially if it's ranging, or, you know, getting having a pullback on a bullish move. But yeah, looking at this again, it's kind of come so close to the center of daily. I wouldn't trade this one. I wouldn't trade this one, and it hasn't really given me an entry signal, like a decent entry signal. And now that we see everything here, you see how they all compact, all of the weekly, daily, and 4 hourly, they're so close to each other, which is it's hard to really place a trade. I would keep an eye on this, being bearish, I would say ideally would be to see this come down, retest this area of interest, to then continue down. That would be my kind of ideal trade, and I would kind of trade from that area of interest. But we'll see. I wouldn't trade until the market kind of shows us. I'll just leave that there for the purpose of that, for the movie. Next on our list is Euro AUD. Quickly, let's move this out of here. We don't need it. Look, I can already see here, since I'm at a 4 hourly, I can see weekly, daily, and 4 hourly, they're all sitting so tight to each other, which means it's consolidating at such a aggressive level that is gonna blow up. So the best thing I could do is, you know, based on the market being bearish, you know, hope for a continuation. But hope is not good right now. I know when the price is really low, ideally you would be buying because it's cheap, right? So yes, it is low, and yes, I would rather buy when it's so low. And looking, if you can see this little chart here, you can actually see how we have reached an area that we have been before. And what happened when we reached that area, we had a big bullish push, and it is possible that we are getting there. It's possible that we're getting there. We're gonna potentially see a big push up, like a bullish push. But let's have a look at weekly, see what weekly looks like. Yeah, see weekly, yeah, it's just coming down and doing not much. Yeah, I mean, looking at this, it can do both. It can go up or come down. Now, based on where we're at on weekly, I would rather think that it's going to come up, at least to the EMA. I would expect that we would be rejecting this area of interest. You can kind of see we had a dirty kind of rejection with this little wick and this kind of dodgy looking candle, and then it came back up and then retesting and going up. I don't know, we'll see what's daily do here. Daily is a little bit more cleaner. This area of interest here is probably, I wouldn't need it anyway, not just yet. I would rather respect this area of interest, and we'll just wait for this to break and retest. Yeah, so right now this has broken it. It's come back up, now rejecting, not really rejecting the EMA because it is really far, but it's coming back down to test this area of interest, and then hopefully we get a signal for the buy, because that's what we do when it's cheap. But we will just have to wait and see what the market does. I would not know what to say. I wouldn't put this in the watch list. I'll just look at it when I'm looking at it, and that's it. So we're now going into the kind of less ideal situations, less ideal trades, but sometimes days moving a lot better. So I'm just gonna go to 4 hourly so I can make this video a bit quicker. Yeah, definitely looking at this, I wouldn't be trading this, absolutely not. It's just not doing anything interesting. Yeah, I would wait for this price to reach this area of interest before I would do anything. So I'll wait for this to see whether it's gonna come down and not. I mean, you can see I've been kind of envisioning here that we're gonna have a sell, a buy, and especially when we broke below, it didn't hold, came back up and retested again. I got the engulfing here. I had the gut feeling that nothing is going to happen. I was below the EMA. I didn't really feel comfortable putting a buy at that point. I would have rather have the EMA below that engulfing. So lucky I didn't, because then you can see how it's just consolidating, came back down here to retest. Ignore this is nothing. Came back down, and then no interest signal, no nothing. It's kind of had a push up, but yeah, pretty dirty. I don't like it. NZD USD. Now this was from last week, and this was a trade that I can say I missed it. However, in saying that, you can see what I expected this is gonna do, and the reason I expected that at the time of this trade, this was not there. So everything was bearish, and based on everything aligned for the bearish move, I would have marked it as that, but it obviously didn't go that way. And we had rejection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And after 5 rejections, which was a ginormous consolidation as well, we had the actual push, and that was a beautiful push. But again, for me, no entry signal, absolutely nothing. There's not even an engulfing. The only thing I could say was the break and retest. But if you're looking at the retest was so high off this area of interest. Now, I could probably figure out another area of interest, but trying to keep them all, yeah, I do not know. I mean, if you're just considering this daily move here, you can see before this big leg happened, we were actually consolidating at the bottom of daily. So at the time of this happening, we were in a bearish, let me see, bearish. Yeah, I believe so, but let me just go a replay quickly. Start new. And let's see. So this is, yeah, basically we were bearish. And what happens when we are bearish and we are at the almost the lowest, you would be putting a like a buy, a bullish move. So you can see why I had this there, but it never broke below and it never retested. So it just went up and done its thing. Yeah, but that's where that's at now. The good news is we're hitting this higher part of the area of interest. So I would be seeking a trade from this area of interest. I would be waiting to see if we get a signal for a sell. Now let me just get rid of these candles so I can actually see these areas of interest. So we are now, that's the top of the market. This is 1, 2, 3. I would shift this up here. So we would have 1 rejection, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 or 5 touches, 6, 7, 8. So this is pretty valid area of interest. There is another one down here, but again, when it's so low and it's kind of reacting on it, that's the center. We do not want to put a trade there, but we want to be able to trade to that area. Now, the cool thing about this one, what I can kind of see and hopefully is going to happen, is rejecting and retesting, giving us a potential entry signal. Now at 4 hourly, what we're doing here, let me put the candles on. Come on, let me get rid of this because I don't need it. All right, so this is, yeah, this is actually, I like this. I like this signal. This is one of my signals, which is like a doji and an engulfing. Now this does signify to me a sell. And if I was to place a trade there, I would have had to place it this morning. So for me, this is clearly a lost opportunity. This would have been my stop loss. That would have been my entry. And I would have exited at here. I would have exited right there. Now you may think, why? I think if I can grow from 1 to 0.5, gradually keep adding on, as the trade's going, it would give me at least, yes, it's a small return, but it would give me a win. It would give me a good trade, a trade that went the right way. And with doing this, every week on and on and on and on, I'll eventually understand that, hey, 20 times out of say 40 times, my trades would have gone 1 to 3, 1 to 4, and you can actually let them run to that. But for me as a beginner, it has been so hard to try and catch anything that's 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3. That's almost not worth it and not funny. And we can see that weekly is bullish, daily is bullish, 4 hours bullish. So this trade here would have been a counter trade, and with a higher risk. But the reality is to my reality anyway, it's ranging pretty badly between these two areas of interest. So I would ignore the trend as such, and I would just focus on these areas of interest. I would focus on the fact that we're ranging, and I'll look for signals at the top and at the bottom to enter. So yeah, this is unfortunately a lost trade for me, but what I'm aware of that this is going to, I'll just leave this aside here and probably get rid of that for now. I would expect this to come back up and retest that and then have another push down. So, oops, it's not all lost. I think my sleeping time, it's 10:30 already. Oh, actually, what? 9:30, never mind. So I would be waiting for this to come back and retest this resistance, and then look for an entry signal. So I can definitely save this into the go watch list and possible entries. I mean, you never know. We'll just keep an eye on it. It is too late now to enter on the demo account as well. I believe it's a missed trade. If I enter now and it does pull back, I'll just be burning a lot of fake money for nothing. So I want to kind of treat my demo account as a real account. I know it's crazy, but when I trade on demo, I have no feelings about it or towards it. So I can kind of clearly place those trades and actually see what would have happened. Now, when I place those trades, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break them down. I'm gonna be sitting here looking at what I placed, and I'll be like, okay, so I said we're gonna do this because of that, and so on. Anyway, let's carry on with our list quickly. USD CAD. Now you can see this pretty clearly. That let me just get rid of these because it's untidy. We can see that we are in the middle of weekly, and I just hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate that it's in the middle of the weekly, and I hate that we are on daily currently at like right in the middle. But what I like about it, it has been trending bullish. It has been trending. So when it's trending, also you can see weekly is still bullish. Weekly is on a bullish push. So if I go and have a look at weekly right now, I can kind of see that weekly has created, after this, let me just quickly put myself together. So this is definitely bullish. All right, broken bullish. Now it has become a small leg. Bullish, yeah. So it has from bearish, it broke back up above, so it was bullish. Now this was the high at the time. It came down. Okay, so it went bearish again. It came bearish again and then bullish again. Yeah, I do not know what to say. It is bullish-ish, not the clearest. And you can see the trend line that I've marked there. It kind of seems that is gonna be trending bearish, and I would say that we are at the EMA right now. It's already rejecting, or it's kind of around the EMA. It's possible that we're gonna see weekly come down. So we will be forming another leg, but yeah, it's really hard to tell. I would basically not do anything. I mean, if you see me kind of struggling with what I think is going to do, it's because I have no freaking idea what it's going to do. Looking at this, it's not kind of building anything. It's just ranging. So all I know about ranging is we would be waiting for this to reach the top in order to put a sell, and reach the bottom in order to put a buy. Now, actually looking at this, at the bottom, see the minute that we reached the bottom, we had this ginormous engulfing. So that's a really good signal if you're going to daily, and for hourly, I'm sure that would look pretty cool. This one did. This broke below and then engulfing, and that gave you a bit of a push with a massive pullback, and then another pullback, and then had the push. So yeah, maybe that was the signal, but would need to have a decent stop loss so we can actually stay for the duration. But that's a very long trade with a lot of emotions for nothing. So ideally, I would be seeking for more logic for entry at this point. So after the retest. So let's just go to 4 hourly quickly. What's happening there at 4 hourly? Okay, so at 4 hourly, it's definitely not clear either. Yeah, definitely not a clear engulfing. So what can I say? The only one that we have engulfing is this little one here, just before it took off. But I would never trade that. You know, I would never believe in that, to put a trade there. And that's the bottom line. Anyway, let's focus on what matters, and that is today and where we're at. I think this has a tiny push to do. If anything, it may just come up here and then pull back to this trend line and then do its thing. So I'll just mark it, but we do not know what it's gonna do. We'll just have a look at it. AUD JPY. Now these are the crazy volatile pairs. So it's 4 of them. These can do whatever they want to do. We'll just move these from here. This is what I've said a couple of weeks ago that it's going to do. Is going to break and come down and retest and go up. But I think that may have just happened here at that time. It broken and retested with rejection, and then it's gone up. But the problem is it hasn't really given me an entry signal. There was nothing that said to me, hey, this is your entry signal. Yeah, so no trade. On the other hand, we can definitely see that there was an engulfing here and it had a substantial push. But other than that, that was also a pullback, because it is a bullish trend. So, but where we're standing now, we're standing at what it looks like a break and retest. So let me just mark this area of interest quickly. No gap candles. Okay, so price is above. Okay, daily. I don't know why this is daily, but that's what it is. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, and this is daily. This of course is daily because I'm on daily. Cool. So right now we are reacting of this area of interest. Now every time we have reached this point, see, we did not go above. It just stayed there and it stayed there. It'll be interesting to see what this does. This is bullish. Everything is bullish. So possibly we're gonna see a bullish push. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is clearly bullish. Clearly bullish. Okay, let's just put these candles up. Yeah, okay. Well, I can't ask for better than that. That's definitely a bullish trend. So I would say the one thing I would be doing, if anything, is put a buy and hope for the best. We'll just wait for this to do its thing. Maybe even come down to reject the CMA again and then push up. But again, you know, you see how it's just doing nothing. It's just going sideways, and it's been going sideways for quite a while. Since April. Oh, okay. Since April, it's not too bad. April, just a couple of months. It's been ranging, so it's at the point where it reached the top again. And if it's gonna hold, it's potentially gonna go back down again and stay in the range. Or if it's you know, truly reached its point that is gonna have a continuation, a bullish continuation, we should definitely see. We should see another retest of that, but it needs to go higher. It needs to reject this EMA and then push higher, and then come back down to retest this area. And that's what I would like to do in order to take a trade. I would like to see this come back up and then down to reject and go back up. But that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm expecting all of these things. Now, there's nobody on the internet that I follow that actually does break them down clearly enough for someone that's like a newbie. You know, I see lots of people breaking trades down, but they break them their own way. And if I don't practice and try and keep seeing it for what it is, I'll never be able to learn. So I'm doing this to become better and learn from my mistakes. So yeah, that's what I would be waiting for to enter. So I'll put this on in our watch list because I want to see it. Next, GBP JPY. Let's see what's happening here. Kind of the same situation, I would say. We can see everything is bullish. I'll quickly go to weekly. Yeah, exactly the same. It's consolidating, but it's pushing up. So probably this is going to come up all the way to this area of interest, to weekly high. Even go above that and then come back down, but that's a decent trade, that's a substantial trade. So what can happen, this push that we see here, that's this week, that's for Monday, Tuesday, right there, Monday, Tuesday. So if we're going to daily, we can see Sunday, pardon me, what's this one? So this is Thursday, oh yeah, Friday, Monday. Yeah, so this is literally just today. Now this has broken above and come back down to retest it, and it's rejecting the EMA. Now I like that. That looks very, very nice. And then I have this other candle that is closed engulfing. That's from last week, you know. But I definitely missed it, and I didn't see it, to be honest. Now going to the 4-hourly to look for that entry signal. Now this area of interest that I have got here, yes, it is there, but it is possible that can be shifted slightly, so we actually have, you know, more clean understanding of why it's actually moving up. And, you know, having this area of interest here would make sense. We broke above it, we came back down rejecting, and then retesting, and then going. Now the problem is there's no entry signal. This is not engulfing, it's just a break and retest, that's all it is. But yeah, I ain't any clear kind of form of signal, so yeah, I would have probably not traded that, and that's the reality. Anyway, for now, what we're doing here is not much. We're approaching weekly high, which is great, and that would be the place where I would be looking at putting a trade. So for now, we'll just wait, let it do its thing. We'll probably have a bigger push. We might just get us to there. Anyway, AUD CAD, AUD CAD. Yeah, this again, same thing. Like I said, we had this engulfing signal, we had the rejection and retesting again, and it gave us, when it retested the third time, we had this engulfing. So I've marked the trade, and remember what I said to you, that I'm going to 1 to 0.5. This actually went a little bit higher, but that would have been my trade right there. And that's, from a beginner's point of view, it's, you know, the less risk I expose myself to, the better I feel and more comfortable. But I'm also learning from it now. It kind of makes no sense to put a trade like that, and I haven't actually entered. We might have just marked it, but I would have definitely entered there if you know, if I was not let's say distracted and not here, because working and having family, it does take you away from it. I understand sitting here and looking at it all day is not good either, but I think my next step would be to put alarms at every 4 hours and just have a look, see what's happening, where the price has moved in the 4 hours, and understand whether it's getting close or not, and put a trade. But I wouldn't be comfortable putting a trade, to be honest, just against this area of interest, because I would be basically jumping into nothing, right? I mean, I would be jumping into you know, a solid piece of real estate that could potentially, you know, take my money for nothing. So yeah, I would be just holding back. I wouldn't be trading there. All right, let's see what's happening for this trade for now. It is at the top of weekly and daily and 4 hourly, so it's also just broke above this area of interest. It's come back down to retest it, almost rejecting the EMA, and now it's coming back down again. Now everything is telling me that we will be seeking a buy, but the thing with such thing is we are at the very, very top, so the price is very, very expensive. But the good news is that this market has constantly created high highs. Now if I go to weekly, we can see there's a couple of trend lines that I have put there. Now we can see, I can kind of feel that this would rather go up than down. So if you're looking at on the left, you see we have these big pushes to this trend line that I've marked, and then have a small pullback and then push again, small pullback and then push again. Now this might actually make it to that red line and then come down. That would be a nice trade. So I'm just gonna move this into, actually daily is looking pretty nice. I like daily very much as well. Daily is just rejecting and it's going up. Now I would say the key thing would be for me to reach at least above this and close above it. If we close above this, it would kind of indicate to me that, hey, it's actually going, but it may be too late at that time to put a trade. Ah, man, this is looking so good. Look at this. It's a full engulfing on daily. Very, very, very itchy. It's itching my hand to enter. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for this to touch the area of interest, and I'm gonna enter with a demo trade. Let's put this in possible entries and watch list, and we'll just watch this. If this can reject as low as this, would be absolutely amazing, but it needs to close. It needs to close engulfing. Oh, hold on. So this has broke above. This is for hourly. It's come back down to retest. Very, very small. I really hate it when it's so small, because what that means is this can actually be the actual breaking and retesting, and then is another one. We're gonna have to wait for another proper break and retest. But if this comes down, rejects the EMA, and then pulls into this area of interest, I would then hope to get a full engulfing besides it. That would give me the interest signal, and then I would place my trade. Yeah, so that's that. I'm just gonna wait for that. And the last one on my list is GBP CAD. Oh, okay, what's happening here? Oh my god, this is old trades. I have not touched this for a while. Hold on. Okay, let's get rid of this. Just too much. That would have been a very nice trade, but I've just marked that trade. So what I mean when I say marking a trade, what I mean by that is when I come to market and I look at it, I'm saying, okay, we reached the top, is going to go down. So I'm marking a trade there. I'm literally putting a short position or a long position, how I think the market is going to go. But I marked it. It went exactly that way, but I had no entry signal. Nada. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, maybe there was an entry signal there, but I just don't know how to read it. It's not engulfing, but it is 3 candles, a long, a small, and a smaller one, and then a big push. So would the 3 maybe be considered an engulfing to the ones on the left? Maybe. I have no idea. If you do know, let me know. Would be good to learn from it. But that was a good trade. Control Z. And this other trade, once we reached the bottom, this gave us an engulfing. So I've marked it as I think this is gonna go up, because it gave us the engulfing and it was ranging, and it is at the bottom of daily. And yes, it did go up beautifully. And what I'm kind of seeing is the market was kind of, consolidating as such. It had a push and then came back down and consolidated, a kind of squiggly push. It made it there, and then when it wanted to balance out, it had a much greater push, and then it rejected here again and it pushed back down. So it kind of, the market sits what it wants to sit right now, as in it roughly on the average, on the balance point. But it is at the top of daily. So we are potentially going to see this as let's say this is the rejection, and now it's coming back up to retest that rejection, and it is possible that we may find our entry signal there. So I'll just leave this hanging just like we did last time, but for now is nothing there, so we'll just see. But I do like it, so I'm gonna put this in watch list. Yeah, so that's my trades. And out of all of these trades, how many I have? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So from 13 I have a total of 5 trades that could potentially give us a trade this week. Now usually Monday nights I don't put any trades, or Tuesdays I've seen a lot of liquidity sweeps happen, and so it's Thursday. But ideally for me would be to chase a trade from tomorrow night. What I mean by why I'm saying night is because London session and New York session are happening when it's nighttime here in New Zealand. So right now London has been on for 3 hours, and here is 10 o'clock at night, and New York is going to open in 2 hours. And that's when things kind of happen, which really sucks. But it's also great because it gives me an option to work during the day and then do this during the night, but then you just need to sleep. So yeah, if you are in a different place and you're actually working, it might be a little bit harder. One thing I haven't done, and I'm going to do now quickly, just check the other trades that I have in this list with Athena and see what Athena is saying. So we've done USD, JPY, NZD, USD now. NZD, USD. Now NZD, USD is sitting at 70% as well. Not really happy. And actually, oh, okay. So NZD, USD, they are positioning themselves just like I have for a sell. So we're just waiting for that. We're waiting for this to come back up, which is great. 70% is not the best though. I would look at something that is 90%. And what I often do as well, I go through everything on Athena as well and just check which one has the better kind of odds to, you know, for the trade. And then I add them onto another list. AUD, JPY quickly. AUD, JPY, AUD, CAD, AUD, JPY. Ooh, AUD, JPY is sitting at 45% on weekly, 45% on daily, and 45% on hourly. And we are looking at a sell as well. So we're expecting this to reject this area of interest, come back down, reject, break and retest, and go down. But we'll see. We'll see. So basically what Athena is saying this. It's saying we're going to do this. From here, come back down, break, and bam. Okay, interesting. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll leave both, just for the sake of it. And we'll leave this here. AUD, CAD, AUD, CAD. AUD, CAD 35%. Oh my god, this is really bad. But 35%, there's actually nothing. There's no sale. There's nothing happening. As in, Athena can't see nothing, which is why it's so low. We'll leave this one at the very bottom. GBP, CAD, GBP, CAD. Now this is 70% as well, which is good. 70% is not bad. And we're looking for a sell just like I have. So we'll again just wait for this to give us an entry signal. Ideally, this would come back up to reject this area of interest. So we'll actually retest it and reject it before we're coming down. But I can't do anything, so we'll just keep an eye. I'll just quickly have a look at these ones here just to see what they look like. Now these pairs are pairs from the internet, from other influencers that have shared them with us. Okay, now this one, it's yeah, what can I say? We're just waiting. This is consolidating. I'm expecting this to reject and come back up, but yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. AUDCHF, we've done this already. NZD CAD, that's also one that we looked at, I believe. NZD CAD, is it on my list? Running. NZD, no, it's not. Okay. NZD CAD. Okay, NZD CAD. So NZD CAD is now coming back down. It's at the top of weekly and daily, so that is quite nice, to be very honest. That is very, very nice. Let me step away from it a little bit so I can see it clearer. Yeah, definitely this is looking pretty good. I would definitely mark this. Oops. Control C, Control V. This area of interest up here, if you can look at it, it's pretty amazing. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, oh wow, look at that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and he's rejecting. So I would say if this can make it back, oh, let me delete this thing. Oh, Control Z. Actually, this is what we need as well. We need a short right there. So if this can make it back, it will be fabulous. So let's put this in the watch list because you never know. So if this can make it back, and then we'll have a trade right there. NZD CAD, let's add these to watch list and possible entries. Excellent. All right, CAD JPY, CAD JPY. Yeah, this is in the middle of weekly, so we're just gonna forget about it. USD JPY. Yeah, this is taking forever to load. Now this is at the very top of weekly and at the top of daily and almost at the top of 4 hourly. So this is really, really beautiful. Now it's tough. It's a tough one from the point of view. Is this going to be bullish continuation, or is this going to be a bearish move? Now, from what I know, smart money, when it's expensive, you want to sell because you want to make the most of it. When it's cheap, you want to buy. I would look for signals to actually sell rather than buy. I can see on just on the right here for the season, you can see how it's actually been pretty flat, pretty level. So it is possible. It's possible that we're going to be ranging again. You see how we've been kind of sitting in between these, and we are at the top now. It's possible that we formed a new range from this weekly low to weekly high. So I will be waiting for a signal to come down, retest this area of interest, and then come all the way down. Now it may not come all the way down here. Hold on just a second. My lovely wife. She's checking if I'm done recording. She's trading with me as well, but she's done her analysis for now, so just me doing this for the record. Now I would probably the ideal thing to see is this come back down, break this area of interest, and then retest it. And this would most certainly happen if it was to go down. And then at that time, the EMA would also be rejected with our entry signal. So it would be absolutely stunning if that can happen. But equally, this can come back up. It can come back up from here and retest this area of interest and then go. And then you would be putting a buy. Now, the best thing I learned to do is just wait. I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to guess what the market is going to do. I mean, if you look at this bit here, you would say, hey, this is engulfing, so it's going to go down. Clearly has gone down, but very, very little. So it's no point rushing in. I would rather take, a year to place, say 20 trades that are successful out of, 30, 40, than putting 50 trades and only have 5, right? So we're just going to wait for it to show us what it wants to do, and then we'll be good to go. So USD JPY, I'm actually going to put this as well into watch list and possible interest because I really like it. AUD USD is in the middle of weekly, top of daily. This kind of, I'll probably find an area of interest here as well, but to be honest, I'm not interested. But just for the sake of it, let's just mark this. This is what I do when I mean market. I just mark that there, right there. I just go as high as I would normally go, but probably 30 pips, give or take. And we're going to the bottom of 4 hourly. Bam. So let's see if that would have given us a trade right there. I'm gonna put this in watch list so we can keep an eye on it. All right, NZD/USD. I believe we have spoken about this, so that's what we're waiting for. And USD CAD, USD CAD. What's happening here? It takes a little while. Those indicators, unfortunately, are a little bit top heavy. I believe we talked about this. Yeah, this is too close to the middle of weekly. We're still waiting for this to go up. Yeah, that's us. Weekly running low timer. We have this little one as well. I'm actually going to quickly share with you. Let's go to watch list. If I go to USD JPY, for example, I have got this little time frame trend as well. Now, what happens is when I place a trade, I like for things to line up at least, but obviously if it's ranging, none of these matters. The only thing that do matter, even when it's ranging, is the candle. Now you can see here I've marked them as buy. Now everything here is blue right now. All of the candles on monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hourly, 2 hourly, 1 hour and 30 minutes, every single one of them is blue. So what that means is now the market currently is moving up. Now if you're looking at this line here, you can see also the change, and the percentage of change is green, which means is positive, is going up. So that is a good indicator for obviously for a buy, right? So when I place a trade, I look at these things without having to really go through all of the time frames and make me understand, hey, with my trade, I mean, if everything is blue, I would be stupid to actually put a sell, right? Because everything is blue, and when everything is blue on all the time frames, the likelihood of it going red like that is pretty slim. And I've had this since March when I managed to figure it out, and it's pretty accurate. Sometimes it just doesn't pick up correctly weekly on a 4 hourly frame to actually show you what it is, but it's easy just to go to weekly and check, is it bearish or is it bullish? And for this instance, this is actually correct. It was not wrong, but it has about 96% accuracy. And yeah, that's what it is. I just thought I'd share that with you. But anyway, guys, for now, this is my first video. So this is number one. I'm going to record it. I'm going to save it as number one video. I'll think of a name. Of course, it is the purpose of this, just a reminder to everybody, the purpose of this is to record my progression. You can compare what I say now versus what I'm going to say in 6 months. Not that you need to compare, but doing it forces me into becoming better. And what I mean by forcing, when you keep doing something over and over and over again, and you kind of pushing yourself, you will get better, right? You will get better. And the reason I've decided to do it is just to give me a better chance at actually succeeding. Now, this video is boring. I'm probably talking a lot of nonsense, a lot of things that makes no sense to you. Some of them don't make sense to me. It's just things that I've seen other people do. I've learned from other people. I'm trying to kind of create an edge for myself. Obviously, my English is not the worst, but not the best either. It's my second language as well. So I'm looking at getting a little bit better from English point of view. But number one, trading, get trading to be at a standard where I can actually understand. And obviously in the process, I'm going to probably meet a lot of people, newbies, and maybe some people that may already be very successful traders that may think, hey, look, Rick, I can probably just give you a bit of an advice here and there, which is absolutely fine. I'll respect it. I'll accept it. At the end of the day, it just needs to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then, you're not gonna make it. And I do think it's important for you and for me to develop an edge that we understand. There's no point trying to get, somebody from the internet that's been doing it for a while, but they have a certain edge, to give you the information for that certain edge. If you get, let's say, the blueprint of his edge, you will still struggle to make it happen. And I've been looking at breaks and retests and areas of interest and all that, just like other people do. And it is challenging. It is challenging. It makes sense. It all makes sense. But then it becomes challenging because when you are kind of flying solo, there's nobody you can just pick up the phone and say, hey, what am I going to do with this trade? So what I do now is basically helping me become a better person. So I apologize if it's boring. Yeah, and if you did hang around, I'll be posting regularly. Now that I figure all of this stuff out, I should be able to record more videos and more updates, and maybe some bits during work. I have a construction company, so I'm doing some renovation work. When I'm trading, I'll show you how I'm doing what I'm doing. I'll record the screen and hopefully say a couple of things about the trades and see how it goes. But yeah, just to close it off, I just want to touch base on how we're going to place the trades. I'm going to have them on demo account, trades that look good but hasn't got a signal, entry signal, and I'm going to put the actual trades that I have got the signal through my actual account, and then if we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. Regardless of the outcome, we will be breaking them down. We'll be breaking them down and say, okay, so this is what that did, and this is what it happened, and probably try and look into that entry signal, or why it went wrong, why we got wicked out, or whatever it is, And doing so, it would force me to become obviously better by understanding what I've done wrong, by maybe seeing what I haven't done wrong, but the market done what it wanted to do. Markets do what they want to do all the time, right? And what I mean by that, obviously, there's big players, people with hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions, in fact, that can change what the market looks like is gonna do. And I don't know that, I mean, lots of new traders. I'm sure there's so many of us that's looking at all of these wealthy people and go like, I want to be wealthy, So I decided that I'm gonna give it a go. Not that I would love to be wealthy, of course, but when it's too good to be true, it's probably because it is. So even if I do become successful, the only way to become successful is to actually put the hard work in. And I think this is what I'm trying to do with trading. I want to give it my very, very best shot. I want to give it a year. I'm going to record it all online and just see what it looks like at the end of it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next update. Just remember, the video will be raw. I'm not going to edit anything, so if I say things that are not nice, I apologize in advance. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.